Hi, I'm Marc from Post, and normally you hear me talk about bags or design, but today I'm going to tell you all about waxing your chain. I've been cycling for 15 years, and throughout that time I never really thought about what I put on my chain. However, I started seeing articles online and people talking about chain waxing, and it got me intrigued. I started waxing my chains and I loved it. The main reason that one might be interested in chain waxing is the lower resistance and chain friction. The second reason is you can get much more life out of a wax chain. With wet lubes, I can only ride a chain about 4,000 or 5,000 kilometers before I have to replace it. A wax chain will last you 10,000, 15,000, or even more kilometers. The main reason I wax my chains is because the chain stays so clean throughout using it, since wax is essentially dry. This means I don't have to worry about leaving chain marks or stains on things, which is one of the big pains of cycling. The chain waxing process involves preparing and completely cleaning the chain. Even with a new chain out of the package, there's still a lot of grease and oils from the factory we need to take off. Luckily, this is just a one-time process for each new chain we use. Here's what we need. First, we need a cleaner such as mineral spirits, acetone, containers for each chain, and then a funnel and filter for cleaning out the used chemicals. Next, of course, is to have multiple chains, master links for easily installing and removing each chain, the wax itself, something to hang the chains such as wire, a crock pot, rubber gloves for handling the hot chain, and lastly, a wooden dowel or any type of plastic rod like a PVC pipe. Preferably, your chains should be new because wax needs a perfectly clean surface to adhere to. It's also important that you have a slow cooker which maintains a steady temperature and not a rice cooker which might overheat your wax. Here we're cleaning a used and dirty chain just to show you how well it can be cleaned. To clean and strip your chains of any contaminants, just put the chain in a container filled with mineral spirits and really shake it in there so that the cleaner can agitate the grease inside the pins and rollers. It's always good to reuse, so I like to filter out the cleaners and reuse it over and over. Pour out the mineral spirits and repeat the process with acetone, which will help rinse and dry the chain. Hang the chains to dry and you're going to be left with a chain that's as clean as you can possibly get it. Start by heating up the wax. Depending on your slow cooker, it might take up to an hour to heat the wax, so you have a lot of time to do something beforehand. Once the wax turns into a liquid, I like to use a wire and thread it through the links of the chain so I can easily slosh it around inside the wax. Move the chain around so that the wax penetrates inside the pins and rollers. Do this for a minute or two and then carefully remove the chain and hang it to dry, and repeat this for each of your chains. After about 20 minutes, the wax will solidify and your chains will be rigid. You can use a wooden dowel or any round object to break the chains and the links so that they can rotate again. Do this for all your chains, pack them up, and they're ready to go. Install the chain on your bike using the master link and run the chain through the drivetrain so that the chain can start to run freely again. You'll see some wax flakes come off the chain for the first few minutes of riding. Enjoy having such a low friction drivetrain and say goodbye to chain grease. I love doing this. To re-wax your chain, it's pretty simple. Just put your used wax chain inside the container and pour boiling water over it. Rinse it away, and any of the old wax flakes or surface dirt will lift off the chain and your chain will be ready again for waxing. There's no need to rinse it again with chemicals. The best routine for chain waxing is to have multiple already waxed chains ready to go. I cycle between 3 chains at a time. By the time the wax wears off on one chain, I quickly switch to the next, and so on. When you've gone through all chains, you just simply wax them all together in one batch. The downside to this is that you have to keep track of your chains and how long each one has been ridden. If you're the person that just wants to put something on, wipe it off, and be done with it, then waxing might not be for you. So there we have it. That's waxing your chain. Again, chain waxing isn't for every situation, but for me, the benefits are worth it for everyday riding. If you think waxing is something you want to do, give it a try and let us know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this helpful.